Hello. In this digital construction workflow that we're going to see today, we're going to see how to geolocate 3D or BIM models with GIS 2D and 3D maps, and actually then connect with Autodesk Forma. Right? So the best option at first sight will be always using S3D software, which has a seamless connection with Autodesk Forma portfolio. But the truth is that you have also other interesting options such as Google Earth. Let's have a look to this. So this is the actual process we're going to see. First of all, you need a BIM model so that you can export to FBX. My recommendation is using Navisworks. Then convert to FBX, the FBX to GLB format. Then publish on Google Earth this GLB and place, relocate, and add more data and connections with Autodesk Forma. Let's have a look. So that you can transform your BIM models to GLB, which is the format that we're going to use on Google Earth, you need to take this FBX format and translate it onto GLB. For that, you have this web app application I created on GitHub that you can directly connect to with this QR. We start the process on Google Earth, just creating an environment and zooming into the example project that I have in my GitHub, which is a project on Cáceres in Spain. Then we use the GitHub page with the application that I've prepared so that you can bring your FBX model so that you can convert it onto GLB. Once we have that GLB format, the only thing that we need to do is to go to File, Import, and then bring it here. In this case, I'm also bringing the KML, which is a point, a location for your reference, but the truth is that you don't need it. The only thing that you need to do is actually import the GLB. So once we have the GLB, what we need to do is to relocate it consistently to the positioning. In this case, what we need to do is to adapt the elevation. In this case, we are going down relative to the ground. And also, we are also rotating it so that we can place it. Then we can modify the description by adding even some links to Forma, such as data management files, to the model, to issues. And also, we can also add some pictures to the model itself so that we can add a database or portfolio of your models. Okay. In this case, you have also a link to the issues on the 3D models, on the BIM model, actually. And here comes some recommendations. Avoid big models, avoid too much detail, avoid unnecessary objects, and try to simplify as much as possible. That's the reason why we're going to proceed with an example with a bigger model. So with bigger models, my recommendation is always to go to Navisworks and filter. In this case, what I'm doing is to just choose the object that could be viewable from outside, like the walls or the actual floors. What we do on Navisworks is export to FBX, right, which is the format that we needed. Then we transform it onto GLB with the same application that we saw before. And then we proceed with the same process, but with this particular model. In this case, you can see how we bring the GLB directly, which is a much bigger model than the one that I showed before. And we proceed with the same process. As you can see here, this is a much bigger one. We also adapted to the location, and we're gonna add more detail. In this case, the links to Autodesk Forma, data management, to the BIM model, to issues, or whatever feature that you want from Autodesk Forma. And then we can also add pictures. In this case, are pictures of the real project itself. And one of the key ideas is that this content can also be used for many other purposes and uses as a repository or a portfolio. Even if you pick the pictures, you can see them together. Well, this is just an example of how it looks like. Finally, I just hope that you enjoy the process and you find out some different workflows that you can implement in your projects, your construction, or your maintenance. Please follow and see you in the next video.